requested to come on live. I think the last time I did a live was right before my shoulder surgery on the 27th of February. I want to first and foremost thank everyone who has hung with this channel and not unsubscribed. There was a lot of unexpected things. I had a plan and it didn't work, and my plan was to get to my shoulder patch, and yeah, it's a patch, and come on a couple weeks later, but life kind of got crazy, as it does, and a lot's happened since then, and here I am. So I'm sorry that I've just kind of been. It's not that I haven't wanted to come on. It's that so much has happened that, I mean, like I was planning on coming on this morning at like 11 o'clock in the morning, and then all of a sudden, guess what? It didn't happen. Uh-oh, can't hear. Thank you very much, Jan. I'm trying to find my comment section. I didn't put my earpiece in. Let me check the volume. I haven't done this in a little bit. See if I can fix. Sorry about this kind of technical difficulty thing. Oh, yep, there we go. That should be much better. And now I'm trying to find this so that I can watch the comments, because I can't see the comments unless they pop up on the screen. Um, so basically, I had my shoulder surgery, and about 3 weeks later, um, my 6-year-old Basset Hound um, was ailing, and we thought it was an infection, and it turned out that it was advanced cancer when we got in there, and um, so made the painful decision to give him um, the best gift that we could give him, and that was to let him know it was okay. Um, so then thought things were calming down, and Deb's dementia was getting worse, my sister, and she ended up in the hospital in the middle of the night. They thought she had a mild stroke. The next afternoon they said it wasn't a stroke, but it was related to her dementia, and after a week in the hospital she ended up in rehab for 7 or 8 weeks. About a week after rehab, I was supposed to have a minimally invasive procedure to fuse my SI. Insurance didn't get it through. We'd been working on it for a year, so I had it done the old-fashioned way. And just and it was there was just so much going on, even in the background here trying to take care of the house and take care of her, take care of myself. So anyway, here we are, and like I said, sometimes it's just difficult to how do I put it? Get everything together and get on. I got my stuff. I got a box that came today. I've been waiting all day to do it. I got a couple projects I was working on. One I'm looking forward to working on. I had everything set up, and then boop, and now it's 6:20 Eastern time. So I love you guys. And like I said, I really appreciate all those who have hung with me and haven't just gone off my channel. I'm hoping now that I've been fired as a caregiver because of the dementia and stuff, which actually turned out to be a blessing in disguise a couple weeks ago. That gives me um, a little bit more time to um, continue to heal. And oh, I broke my back too. The day I found out, the day she got out of rehab, my back, I had fallen on a Saturday, and it was doing pretty good till early Wednesday morning. But I had to get her out of rehab. She threw an appointment in, and by the time I got home, I was in severe pain, and I laid down thinking that would help, and it didn't. Well, I found it here, said that I can get my chat. So I went to the ER, it was about a month and a half ago, and found out I broke the wing of my L3. So that kind of threw a loop in there. It's pretty much healed, still having some SI, hip problems, low back problems, just life. But I'm here, and I'm hoping, I've been wanting since I kind of got thrown into the deep end with this channel to do some more tutorials and be more regular, and that has here. Hello, Jan. Hi, Lynn. Thank you for coming on. Hi, Lynn. Thank you very much, Lynn. I got Lynn Balaeus, and then Lockwood. My shoulder's doing good. I had this much range of motion when I went in. I can do this. I can do this. But it is a patch because both my shoulders are shot, and we're just trying to avoid replacing them. But it's functional. I just can't lift as much as I used to be able to, so I have to put it on the left shoulder. The SI, when I went in for my 6-week checkup, they put 3 custom titanium screws about this big. My doctor looked at the x-ray. He was very excited because he said there was already bone growth happening there. And my other orthopedic doctor says that's wonderful news, because if at 6 or 8 weeks you don't have that bone growth, it takes longer to heal. My back's almost healed. I'm able to function and do things. So, but Lynn B, I'm so glad that you joined us for a little while. Joe, how's my friend Joe? Um, Cheryl, hey Cheryl. Um, it's I'm glad that you guys joined me for a few minutes. You know, I appreciate the empathy that Lynn, but I look at it as God has a purpose in it. I can't tell you why He's allowed it all. I mean, 2 weeks ago, it was really hard when I was sitting in a doctor's appointment and got blindsided my sister, and then she kind of tanked 45 years of relationship. I was hoping that there'd be a breakthrough, that there'd be some medical help. It wasn't the breakthrough I prayed for, but it was the breakthrough I needed. Um, so, I guess it's perspective. Um, and what do? You run back to Him. For me, you run back to Him and you keep going. Hi, Mary. Glad that you joined us. And so in the last couple 3 weeks, I've actually had some time to breathe and work on some things. I did my first 2 jelly roll quilts. Now, the first one, I'll admit, I listened to a friend who's made a lot of them and asked her how many jelly rolls I should make to make it a certain. And God bless her, she had a brain fart day. So when I got done, it's too long, but not wide enough. But we're gonna figure out a border for it. I think it's very cute. But we're gonna just figure out a border to put on it to make it wider, and we're gonna trim the long length. One suggestion was, because I'm gonna trim it about here, was to take these sections and try and make them into a border. I don't know. I actually made my first jelly roll quilt, and I accomplished something, and it felt good. Um, Lynn, it's really good to be back. And thank you, Lynn L., for that. And so I decided I was going to do a second one and do it with the recommended amount. And I think it didn't, it was a little different than expected, but I think it turned out really good because I plotted with some of my friends to add these little purple bricks every so many. Well, they all ended up on this. Most of them ended up on this side. I had to do a little repair, but I think that the colors of this jelly roll, I wish I had better mobility so I could put it all the way up on my board. I don't know. Oh, I tried to put this one up as my thumbnail for the live and it wouldn't work, so I think I put the dog laying on the Dr. Seuss, simple Dr. Seuss quilt I finished for my sister. That was my last promise to her. Um, it was simple, but I like it. It's pretty, it's wide enough, it's the right length. I did find some fabric in the $5.50 bin at $5 $5.50 bin at Mill Outlet that I want to cut up, and I want to do another one, but I want to do it a little different in that I want to, I think I'm going to mix it up a little bit, but they're various colors of the same print. I can pull it down real quick if you're interested. Basically, and I started out with 4 and I found 2 more that they had added to the bin, but they're all complimentary. And then I found this white on white that has like some little leaves on it. And I figured I could cut it in strips and put it together. And then I would have plenty extra for something different. And I was kind of excited because they had the orange and the tan to add to it. When I went to the eye doctor to find out what was going on with this sty and found out it's not really a sty, it's a cyst. So now I'm trying to figure that one out. But we're moving along. But yeah, I was just talking to a friend and said I want to try, she said she wanted to try making a jelly roll quilt about a month and a half ago, and I said, well, I've been wanting to try one. So we just had a party. Let me catch up here. Yes. Thank you very much, Mary Webb. Yeah, it is good to be mending, and oh, I'm so glad you could come on, Lynn B. I really hope. Yeah, Lynn B. Well, I think that happens, when I was making it and I got to like the middle point, it was like if I leave it, then it's way too wide. If I the do the next sew across, then it's going to be way too long and too narrow. And I figured, well, it's easier to work with narrow. And I heard this curious thing that a lot of them expect your strips to go this way. Well, I'm weird in that when I have these vehicles and things like that, I kind of like the idea of having them horizontal. But either way, it would be short one way or another. If I cut this off and I don't use it for a border, I can use that section for a bag. I can use it for quilt blocks. I can use it for tote, pot holders. I mean, it's not lost. It's not. If I cut 6 strips off, they're all sewn together, and I can do something fun with it. And guess what? I only paid 20 cents for this whole jelly roll, so I didn't lose anything with my food bar. It was a good experiment. It wasn't like I got expensive jelly roll. And Thank you, Lynn L. I really appreciate that. So, before I get to the unboxing, I have been looking for about five, oh my gosh, for about 5 years, um, to do a quilt for my dad. My dad has been gone since 2003. He was Air Force for 20 years, and then he became a minister, an Episcopal minister, and he passed from Alzheimer's. And I couldn't find the right fabrics until, and it's going to be a little hard to show this panel, until I found this panel over right before Memorial Day when all the big sales were going on. And of course, it's by my favorite designer. But I found this panel and I fell in love with the eagles. And there's 12 of them, I believe, in the panel. 9 or 12. 2, 3, 12. And um, so, because it was a really good Memorial Day. Well, there you go, Lynn. You could do that. Thank you, Lynn. I just loved the way they did the coloring of the panel. I mean, look at the feathers here. All the detail of the coloring. So I started pulling bits and bobs together because I want to cut the eagles apart. And hang on a minute, I'm trying to fold a little bit as I go. And then I found this from a quilt shop that was on clearance, and I'm going to use this as a sashing in between the eagle blocks, and I'm going to fussy cut. I had this in my stash. I'm going to fussy cut around some of these Air Force symbols and use them as the cornerstones. So you'll have the block, you'll have this as the sashing, and then these different Air Force symbols as the cornerstones. And then, I'm not sure what this one is. And then I found this, and I thought I loved this for a backing, but then I thought that the backing would be too light, especially with dogs. So I think I'm going to use this as a border around it. And then this 108 Beauty will be the backing, because it won't hold the color. And then I'm not sure how this little critter snuck in there, but it's in the pile because I think it was in the Thunken phase. I may end up putting one, I may mix up some of my cornerstones, but I thought this would go really well with the eagles to do. And it's going to take me a little bit to pull it together. Let me find an eagle for you, the way I folded this. But if we have the eagle here, I think this is going to be really pretty to pull the colors out for a simple sashing. And then and then the little U.S. Air Force, different things on this that I've had for 4 years or so as the cornerstones. And then those beautiful eagles from that was an older pattern by Dan Morris, the white one. And I couldn't decide if I wanted it as backing or not because it absolutely is gorgeous. But it's not going to just go on a wall. It needs to be loved. It needs to be used. It's for honor and respect and remembrance. So, Keepsake Quilting had their 108 on sale about a month and a half ago, and I think it was like 5.50 or $6 a yard. So I was able to get this beautiful older 108 print, and actually I did get a yard in the purple too for a project to be announced, just because the purple wouldn't fit with this project, but it was too beautiful to not. And as you know, even if you don't use 108 as a backing, 108 actually equals almost 3 yards per yard. So, um, thank you, Mary. Thank you, Joe. Um, you don't like the blue? You mean, oh, the blue for the backing? Well, by the time I get it all pieced together, that backing may go to somewhere else, and the eagles may end up on the back. I just got dogs that like to snuggle up with me, and I know that quilts are made to be washed, but if I don't have to wash them quite as often, um, yeah, the sashing or binding, I had thought about this for the backing. It's the same eagle print. I don't have enough. I'd have to source out some, um, but it's not as colorful as the beige. I mean, the way Mr. Morris did the coloring in this is just gorgeous. But at least I have the quilt top kind of sorted out to put together. And I've been spending time trying to organize. I've been trying to organize this place for 3 years, and I'll help, and it doesn't help. But it took me. Let's see. At the end of January, I was told that we could take these two extra shelves that belong to the shelf and finally get them in here and put up. And I ended up having to do it myself, except for the last bit. I finally had to empty them, and they're still being organized. I did spend time. I'm working on some key fobs, so these are all ready to sew. Um, and I have all of these in this pile. I just need their middle part, um, because the place that I put a few, got a pin on the floor, the place that I put a few um, to sew, they're a little low. So I've been working on I've finally been able to work on some things, but like part of what happened was Deb has a basset hound named Hope. Good thing she's petite. But like, she had been gone for 2.5, 3 weeks, and then the basset hound, who's 3 now, decided to get up on my work table over there and knock all my organization, and didn't do it once, but did it 9 or 10 times. And so that is, sorry about this, scammers calling me. So that area is, so I've just been slowly kind of working on things. I knew I had lost weight with between her being in the hospital and rehab, but I didn't realize I had lost as much weight as I had. And my stent is perfectly fine, that works for my gut. I had it checked, so I have to work on gaining about another 15 pounds. Um, so, but I really want to start also having time for my channel. Um, it was a dream to make a channel someday, and I wasn't prepared when I got thrown into it, and a lot. I mean, in the last year, let alone the last 7 years, it's just been happening. But now I didn't even realize how much time I was taking doing the caretaking and some of what was going on that really shouldn't have, the shenanigans that were going on. And now I don't have that on my shoulders. So as I heal in all the different ways, hey, hey Lisa, thank you for joining me. Hi Mona. Now, I promised some unboxings. Now this one I've had for a little while. Um, and y'all check out Mona. Mona did what? And Lisa the Aqua Quilter. They have amazing channel. Vintage Style by Joe. I mean, she rocks. I know several people have channels on here. And so, you know, they're good people. Thank you, Mona. It is a hard job, and without warning and without telling me, when I was in the neurologist's office with her about 2.5 weeks ago, she said, I don't care if she's here or not 3 or 4 times. And then when I was talking to the nurse, she says, oh, she's not my caregiver anymore. And I drew a boundary and I said, oh, good. I said, your husband's coming to the appointment. He can take you home. Have a nice day. She didn't expect me to get up and walk out. I did it respectfully. I went out to the car. I called to make sure that he had gotten his butt there, and he had. And I left. And she's kind of tanked a lot of things since then in our 45-year relationship. And I was hoping it would be more like she would get some help from the neurologist and there'd be some accountability and responsibility and stuff, and that would be the breakthrough. But instead, the breakthrough was God going, I'm taking this off your shoulders because you've done enough. So it was hard. It was hard to sort through. It's been a grieving process, sort through what's mine, because I'm not a perfect person. And that's what you know, if there's any lesson in it, sometimes we think that a breakthrough or something's going to happen, and we're looking at it so hard over here, and the breakthrough is actually this direction, and we get upset. But this direction is the direction we needed to go. But anyway, uh, there's a, yes, Mona. Yes, they do. And part of the problem is she does have Lewy body dementia, and that's one of the more difficult ones because it attacks the frontal lobe. But I think what we all, and what I was kind of pushed to make excuse for, was that there was some underlying mental health issues. I'm not saying illness, but issues. Um, and instead of the doctors going, let's treat that to make it easier for you and your journey easier, and the caregivers, let's take the easy way and ignore it and say it's all LBD. And so shoot, speak of the you know who, I've got Deb calling me. um but basically it's been kind of a crazy piece, uneven piece. um so hold on a minute. But I'm not being manipulated by her or having to jump it. Oh, she's gonna find somebody else. Um, so let me see what she needs. Because, of course, I haven't heard from her all afternoon, and then all of a sudden she calls. Because I've been trying to do this live since 11. But I want to throw this in before I have to go figure out what's going on. I had asked Donnell, my buddy, she has a channel, and of course now it went out of my head because I got distracted. Thank you very much, Jim. Hi, Giggles. She has a great, Deb, the Pub Mama Quilter, has a great channel. Thank you, Joe, for putting her up. But Donnell, she has a channel, but anyway, about 4 months ago, she was doing a she was doing a show and she said we can custom 3D print. And I had just lost Huck, my basset hound of almost, he was just before 6 and it was shocking. And I asked her for a son. Um, I gotta figure out what's going on here. And so I asked her to make me a basset if her son, and I thought he'd make a fidget toy, but look what he came up with. He made these fantastic little beautiful um, basset hounds, and I had asked for a couple. Deb had got hers right before she went to rehab and fell in love with it. And she put a bunch of neat things in here. But one thing, and I have one left, I'm gonna have to order some more, was she put in some of her lip balm, and it is the bee's knees. It is the bomb. Um, and I had another box to open, but all crap is breaking loose in the living room. So even though I'm not responsible for it anymore, I need to go figure out what's going on with the dogs in Tony's home. And thank you, Lisa. Then it is, and her daughter doesn't want to have anything to do with her care. Um, she's like, no. Her grandchildren don't want the responsibility. Tony really doesn't. He can barely take care of himself. You know how guys are. But I'm done. I'm done. You know, she pulled too many tricks. So that's a great Donnell Stitchery. There she is. I love you, Donnell. That's what I'm gonna do because I've been wondering where to put him, and I've had him here so I could see him. And like I said, I'm down to 110 of this wonderful lip balm, so I'm gonna have to order some more. It is the bomb, and I have used several. And I told Donnell, she sent me some, I would give her a shout out. And she had a brain fart sending it because she had lost her beloved bird child. And then I got sidetracked and caught up with all the crap going on. 2 surgeries, losing my dog, Deb being in, fracturing my back, just craziness. But I didn't forget you, Donnell. I didn't forget you. Um, and this, he will go on Phoenix. There's only one other bling on Phoenix, and that's a sticker of my friend Hetty from Stitches. And if you get a chance to pop over to her channel, I know she's got a community page. She makes incredible patterns. Um, she gave me some bling for Phoenix, my main machine. And I'm gonna do that. I love you, little sis. Joe, it is sad and it's been hard. And I really was, I have 2 boxes here that my friend Judy sent me, and I've been waiting all day to open them since like 11 o'clock when I set all this up. But I need to go see what's going on between my brother and my sister just to keep the peace. But I will try and come back and do like a part 2 so I can finally see what's in these boxes, and then maybe make some dinner for myself. But you know, God knows where we need to go, and sometimes the hard things have to happen to get us there. But He's with us in the process, and I can tell you, 2.5 weeks ago, I was in a place where I felt like the truth didn't matter, and that there really wasn't any justice or wins, and that I had wasted a number of years of investment. And that's where this was, not where this was. And I've done a lot of work to get that 18 inches to where I know that it's influenced by the dementia, but I also knew it's influenced by choice. And when I started setting back, I've been trying since September 23 to have boundaries with her and boundaries with things. And caving, and when I finally, when she was in right at the end of February, when I started putting up boundaries and holding them, and then really holding them when she got home, she didn't like that. So thank you very much, Lisa. Thank you, guys. I love you guys. I'm gonna get off of here so I can go see what's going on. And hopefully I'll be back maybe after I fry my pork chops and make some mashed taters. But I love you guys. Thank you. Thank you for hanging with me with my long absence in my journey. I'm not where I was when I started this channel, or actually just kind of got thrown in the deep end with this channel. It's taken me a long time to find my healing and find my voice, and I'm still working on things. And you know, there's been a few train wrecks the past few years that have been some of the hardest in my life, but we're still here and we're still plugging and plodding on. Bye, Lynn. It's good to see you, Deb. Thank you all for the support, and I will be back. Hopefully, it won't be a long absence, and I do have some tutorials planned, so I'm going to sit down and get to that. Um, and it seems like mostly things are calming down. But I love you. Y'all take care.